Hey friends, it's your host Steph Connell, lifelong goal getter, betterment seeker, and both a student and master of making mindset matter. Through my 10 years of experience in coaching and leadership, I've seen passion and purpose diminish to form life's cookie cutter mold. And due to that, we see the train of unhappiness get more and more bogged down. My mission in life is to get a rise out of you. Together, we are building a community of women who can not only voice their vision, but bring that to fruition. You are daring. You are valued. You are needed. And you are ever growing, my friend. The world needs our courage, and we are bringing it on strong. So without further ado, let's get to it. It's time to be bold. Hey, I have something really fun to talk about today because we're going to address what happens when you arrive. And I'm using air quotes here because oftentimes we talk about on this podcast how to get there, how to, set your goals, dig away, achieve your goals. But what do we do when we arrive and get there? Well, funny thing is that we should always be prepared to set the next goal up, because this is a perfect recipe for people to become complacent. And that's what I want to address today. I want you to envision this for yourself. Where is an area? We can all pick an area where we've arrived, right? Maybe it's our home. Maybe it's finances. Maybe it's you've gotten the car that you wanted. Maybe now you can travel and not have to worry. Maybe you've gotten the job position that you want. Maybe where have you become complacent in your life? And there's somewhere we can all pick. I can. I know that I can. And what I want to address around this is how we show up when we've arrived. I'm not a huge fan of, the arrived mentality, because that's where we usually stop growing. We don't have the hunger for achieving more when we've achieved something that we've, had on our list and we've done it. We've kind of just gotten comfortable in that spot. And when we get comfortable, we relax all of the things. Like, we start to become a little bit more comfortable. We start to bring the walls down, right? We're not as, I don't even know the word, but you know what I'm saying. I don't need to know the word. I think I'm really articulating what I'm trying to put down here. And so one of my concerns, Shane and I, we were having an excellent conversation the other day about people who are in a position where they don't remember. And more so in the work field. So if you have goals that you're achieving and doing, amazing. I'm so proud of you. Are you proud of you? The next thing that I want to look at, and it's an excellent example, is let's say you're in a position of management, or you're in a position where you influence a lot of people. Are you showing up with an open heart, self-leadership, and love towards the people that you are influencing? That is a loaded question for not just ourselves, but for everybody in a leadership role or a role where you are influencing a lot of people. I can't stress how important it is for the function of the temple that you run when you are a leader, that you show up in the trenches as well. Just because you arrived doesn't mean someone else has. And the work is so good when the leader is in the trenches too. What do I actually mean by that? So let's say, for example, you are in a position of management at work. You've gotten that job, you wanted to work up, and now you're at a point of management. The hours are awesome, the pay is awesome, you get to go home and get vacation pay. But meanwhile, you have somebody at work who does the cleaning duties. Let's say somebody, at the level of doing the cleaning duties. Do you understand how important that job is? And if that person was not there, you would have to do it. Treating people with respect and integrity and love, appreciation for every single job that is out there. When I go to work, I'm showing up and I'm doing the do with them. You know, recently with even for myself having a position change, and I'd love to share this with you. Um, because it's very easy when you get into a position where you have more pull, more power, more options, more flexibility, that you can take advantage of those things. It's very easy. And so it's so it's so easy to sit in your office and just sit there and do the things on your own, time and maybe pop onto your phone and whatever while everyone else is doing the do. It is extremely easy. It's just as easy as fact to go out and help everybody who is digging in the trenches and holding the fort up. It's just as easy. It's just a decision. So today, I want to encourage you as a person of potential and a person just like every other person that when you go into work, you show up and you show up big. And showing up big doesn't mean giving orders. It means going in and remembering what it was like to be the other person. Expressing your gratitude for their hard work. And beyond vocals, do it. When I go into work, I make it such like it's not even a question. It needs to happen that when I go into work, what is on my mind is that I am on the force with everybody else doing the jobs that they are doing. And when I do that, it's such an excellent reminder of all the things that they have to do through the day and how challenging it can be, how overwhelming it can be, how hard it can be, whether you're dealing with, other people, if you're in service industry, if you're cleaning, whatever it is, down to the most, if you want to classify it again, air quotes, basic jobs aren't so basic. They take a little bit of elbow grease. They require you to get a little uncomfortable. But you will gain more respect from the people that you work with than by sitting in an office with a job title. You will gain more, not just from them, but you will gain perspective. You will gain light and awakening and appreciation. You will gain character. There will be so much more when you step up as a true leader and person of the party, the group that's working, to be there with them. I feel like right now, and I just kind of chuckle, that in life right now, I feel like politics is always a heavy conversation in the household. And I feel like right now, especially, they're often just because of so many different things happening and so many different views and just so much going on. And when I have this conversation, I think everybody can relate to this one feeling that when governments, put policies in place or add a tax or anything like that, that we all get frustrated. We're all like, what more coming out of our pockets or whatever the situation is. And we all have something to say about it, which is valid and deserving. Everybody has the right to say something or have a belief, and I hope you do. And I want to hear it and I want you to express it and have dialogues about it. But what I wanted to address about this certain situation is it's so funny because I always make the remark that I think they have forgotten what it's actually like for some people. And the one thing that I can relate it to, for example, in my life as an experience is with children being pulled out of schools and parents needing to work from home as well as parent at the same time, and then not only parent and get a job well done, but on top of it being asked to do schooling with their children. And so it's been kind of a sticky situation, and everybody's going to have their view on this. But I actually make the remark that the people barking the orders or creating this forget what it's like to be in those places in life. I'm thinking, I'm like, they must be, and I'm just having kind of a chuckle over it, is that they must be at that point in life where either their children are older and self-sufficient, or their children are actually completely graduated and working, or these people themselves are near retirement themselves. So they're in a position where they're not in the thick of it. And I believe there's some truth behind it. I make that remark, but there must be some truth behind it because I think that someone in their right mind, if you're living through that, you would never do that to yourself. But I we can see this everywhere. I resort to that small little story, but you can see it everywhere where people are in a position in life, and it doesn't need to be power, but you're in a position in life. Typically, there is power where you're barking orders, and we can go right down to the basic. Again, air quotes basic is in your own home, parent and children. We're making orders, but we forget what certain things are like. And I try to be the most understanding, and I know you are too, with what you have, what you know. And so, having these great conversations with each other, we can kind of open our minds up a little bit with someone else's thought patterns. If we take something from work and we apply it even to our very own household, which I do, I analyze that. I'm like, okay, if my children don't understand why I'm telling them to do something, the last thing I'm going to say is because I said so and I'm your parent. And I'm not going to lie, I got that growing up. And I remember, see, the key here is memory. It's almost like a mental screenshot that I take for myself of things that are so important in life. I remember as a kid, one of the most frustrating things ever was getting that response when I would ask questions. I didn't understand. And yet we have to understand that when someone asks us questions, it's not against us. It's for them. They're trying to understand why they need to do something. And so to have my child ask me why, and then I tell them why, and then they ask why because of that, you know what I'm talking about, right? When they do that, as frustrating as it can be, it actually challenges us to actually think why, because they genuinely don't know. They're in learning mode. And so I remember. And when I go to work, I make sure that I'm working with them. I'm doing the tasks I don't have to do. This is called teamwork. This is called self leadership and leadership in general. And you will get more response out of an entire team and the job that you want done, not by telling somebody, but by doing the do and doing it with them. This is how we learn as human beings. This is how we learn as creatures, let alone human beings. I mean, a dog at birth learns its habits in nature by watching the pack. They don't bark and tell them how to do it and then they're gone. It seems so silly and something to laugh about, but it's truth. It's as real as it gets. My children don't learn from me by what I tell them. They understand by the explanation, but they do based on what I do. And the job is no different at work and goals. And so I think one of the most special things that you can do, not as a leader, but as a decent human being, a real person with genuine thoughts, a good heart, and connecting with other people that you work with on the journey to achieving your goals in life. The next goal is actually to help somebody else. So you actually never arrive. So listen, I really enjoyed spending these moments with you today, and I hope you did too. My gratitude is through the roof. But in order for us to make even more magic in this world, we've got to spend more time together. Make it your focus to connect consistently so you can continue to gain and change up your days to come. Secondly, we are a direct result of who we hang around with, and now you're in the world of becoming better. By sharing this episode, you are making an impact in someone's life, and frankly, we're just better together. And don't forget to tag me so I can send some love and shout-outs back, my friend. Until next time, this is your host, Steph, on Be Bold.